Our area's most beautiful properties deserve the finest realtors. Meeks Realty Group. We focus on buying and selling residential and commercial properties throughout the tri-state area. Contact Meeks Realty Group online at meeks.us or call 304-440-1101.
Views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
It is 8 minutes after 9. Welcome to the show. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live brought to you by Thornhill Auto Group, including Thornhill Toyota. The Toyota National Sales Event continues. Come check out the new 2024 Camry, Corolla, the all-new Crown, or the new 2024 RAV4 Highlander gas. Qualified buyers can get 3.99% APR for up to 60 months. See them for all the details. Visit on the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119 in Chapmanville, or online ThornhillToyotaWV.com. Toyota, let's go places. And the Dave Allen Show comes to you from the Parmar Store Studio. Parmar, the Written Family Foundation. Best price and fair price. Again, offering the Parmar Store scholarships. These are available to any high school senior or undergraduate student from West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Maryland, or Kentucky who is currently enrolled in a college, university, trade school, or technical program. Applications and details available at the website parmarstores.com under the community tab. Application deadline is the end of this month. If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon. Coming up on the show, this we got some wicked weather, man, coming our way, and it's going to affect pretty much everybody listening to this show. Meteorologist Bryan Hughes from StormTracker 13 is going to join us a little later on to talk about that. Plus, yesterday afternoon, the State Chamber of Commerce released the first round of their endorsements for the May primary. Not a lot of surprises there. We're going to get into those with Brian Dayton from the Chamber coming up a little bit later on. And if I get time, everybody has asked me for my opinion of this whole controversy surrounding the Crispy's chicken fiasco over the weekend in Huntington. Now, if you're not familiar with the story, I'll get into it a little bit later on. I prefer to spend time talking about businesses that actually want to help themselves as opposed to hurting themselves. But if I get an opportunity, I'll get into that a little bit later on as well. Plus, your phone calls and texts are welcome again. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. The West Virginia Home Show is happening this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Coliseum Convention Center. Hours Friday, noon to 8, Saturday, 10 to 8, Sunday, 11 till 5. And it's sponsored by the Home Builders Association of Greater Charleston. Wilfred Haynes and John, help me with the last name.
Kopaschinsky.
All right, we got a microphone issue with it. John, you ready to go? Try that again.
Yeah, John Kopaschinsky.
I was told by Steve Animal just to call you John Copy.
I've been called worse.
All right. John and Wilfred are here. Wilfred, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, sir. It's good to be here, Dave.
What are your guys' roles with the show? Wilfred, we'll start with you.
I am the Home Show chairman of the Home Show, and I'm also the president of the Home Builders Association in Greater Charleston.
All right. And John, what about you?
I'm on the committee, the Home Show committee. I'm also on the board of directors for the Greater Charleston Home Builders, and I'm the market manager for Builders First Source. We'll be an exhibitor at the show this year.
Okay, and I mentioned this before. It looks like then this is going to be a great 3 days.
Sold out.
Yes.
Sold out show.
As far as the vendors go.
As far as the vendors go, yes.
Still room for the customers, if you will.
Yeah, as many as want to come, we've got plenty of room.
But then, and how many vendors are we talking about again?
It's over 100.
Well over 100. And what kind of different vendors are we looking at?
So we have landscapers, Amish furniture, gutters, like Builders First Source. They have kitchens. We have appliances, just HVAC, plumbing, just a little bit of everything, really. Anything really for the home. Anything for the home. Windows, doors, all HVAC vendors. So anything really for the home.
So, and we want people to realize that when you come out to these events, guys, is that there is something to be said for people in the industry that are looking to build homes or whatever. But this is just for the average person, the average family just wants to look at things for their homes too. Is that right?
Well, it gives the homeowner an opportunity to have all of these products in one place and specialists available that they can discuss their project with.
Yeah, as opposed to sometimes when you go to some of the bigger, especially some of the bigger stores, and it's just what it is. You got questions. Sometimes they're struggling like everybody else to find somebody to work, so you got to try to pull them away from this department to ask them a question about a sink or an HVAC unit or whatever. Yes. These people, every booth is manned by actual people that know their product and they can answer any questions for you.
Exactly, Dave. One of the beauties of this is that when you come in, bring your blueprints, come in with questions, ideas, this is where you can truly get the answers. Because typically the people that is working the booths are the people that really has the knowledge and the background and the experience.
Yeah, and that's very important. Again, we're talking about the West Virginia Home Show that's happening this weekend at the Coliseum and Convention Center. Now, on Friday, guys, did I read this right? The first 100 people through the door get free lunch?
Yes.
Courtesy of ICO Roofing?
Exactly,
is that right?
Yes.
Talk about that.
So yes.
You had me at free lunch.
Yes, well, it's nothing like a free lunch.
Yeah.
But yes, so ICO Roofing, they're giving away to the first 100, starts at noon. Come in, you get your little ticket, you go get your sandwich or your hot dog or your corn dog, whatever they're serving that day, and it's to the first 100.
Yeah. And again, something else that's happening, I think that is really cool too, is 84 Lumber is going to be sponsoring a kids workshop. So what's that all about?
So yes, the kids workshop. We've had other vendors to do this over the years, but 84 Lumber, they really stepped up this year to do this, and we're really, really happy for them to do that. Also, what they're doing, they're giving away $500 a day. $500 a day. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you can win $500 a day. Also, as giveaways, GE is giving away a refrigerator, a stove, and a dishwasher. No purchase necessary. Just come in, you register either out front or once you get inside.
That's good stuff. Again, it's all happening this weekend at the Coliseum Convention Center. I'll remind you that the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Hudson's Pizza. Get a large 18-inch pepperoni pizza and a large tossed salad, only $20.99 at your favorite Hudson's location. I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's give away some tickets. Would you like to do that?
Nice.
Hey, here's what I got. I got 2 tickets right now, and if you're caller number 5 right now at 304-345-5858, 304-345-5858, caller number 5 right now, I'll hook you up with a couple of free tickets, and these tickets are good for any day you want to go to the show. They're Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Is that right?
That's correct.
So whatever works for you and your guest, caller 5 right now at 304-345-5858, 304-345-5858, caller number 5 right now. I'll hook you up with a couple of free tickets to get into the show. Good for any day that you want, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I want to talk about the organization, the Home Builders Association, guys, of Greater Charleston. Talk about that organization.
The Home Builders Association is there for the general public to get information about home builders in our area, and we also advocate for home builders. Mm-hmm. It's an organization. If you call the office here in Charleston, you talk to Donna. If you got a project coming up, she can point you in the right direction, help you maybe find a good builder or remodeler, whatever your needs are.
I want to talk about home construction here in the Valley because I've had people from organizations like Advantage Valley. I've had people from different chambers of commerce and whatever, and they talk about the need to have more homes, more dwellings, whether it's apartment, townhouses, full family homes, whatever, here in the Kanawha Valley. I mean, we definitely got a need for more.
There's always a housing need. As housing ages out, there's always a need to provide new housing.
Yeah, and so certainly we'll throw that out there right now. Build some houses because we need some houses.
And one of the things also, when you're working with the Home Builder Association and you do call the office and they'll direct you to 5, 6, or whatever number of builders, the one thing you're going to get someone that's going to be licensed, they're going to be insured. Mm-hmm. Those things are important in today's market because you can get someone that don't do a good job and you have no recourse at all. So that's one of the things that's really nice dealing with the Home Builder Association. Another thing that we do, we have the Henry E. King Scholarship Fund. So every year we have two $2,000 scholarships that we give. Could be to a trade school or college, and we give 2 kids $2,000 to help them in the building trade industry.
That's awesome. I mean, again, that's what we love when we give back. By the way, speaking of giving, we have a winner on our tickets. Robin Pauley was our winner. So Ryan tells me Robin was our winner. So she was caller 5, won herself a couple of free tickets. So we appreciate Robin. I'm going to have some tickets to give away probably a little bit later on in the week. But Robin Pauley is our winner. So Robin, congratulations and enjoy the show. I'm sure Robin and a guest are definitely going to be taking in some good times over at the Coliseum Convention Center this week. I have a text here for you guys. It says, will there be any tiny house builders at the home show? I mean, I guess anybody could be a tiny house builder, couldn't they?
Pretty much any of our builders, I think, could probably handle that task. We gave a tiny house away a few shows back. I don't know specifically if there's going to be someone that specializes in it off the top of my head.
But if you want a tiny house built, I'm guaranteed
there's somebody there who'll do it for you.
You just get a plan and go, okay, make it smaller. That's what I want. What do we have that's new this year, guys? Is there anything that's new that really sticks out to either one of you that may be something that hasn't been there before, or is there something maybe that's just been there the last couple of years that's been a big hit? Anything?
Well, something that's coming back this year is, I know we talked about it in the committee meeting, there will be some nice landscape displays in the lobby, but we didn't have those the last show, but they will be back this year with some nice landscaping products out in that lobby when you come in.
Well, guys, it's going to be a lot of fun. Again, the West Virginia Home Show is happening at the Coliseum Convention Center. Friday hours are noon till 8. Now, remember, free lunch to the first 100 ticket holders through the door, sponsored by ICO Roofing. Also, the 84 Lumbers Kids Shop is going on all 3 days. Saturday hours for the home show, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday, 11 until 5. And cost to get in is $10, and 15 and under are admitted for free.
Yes.
So, I mean, I literally, in the world of advertising, you hate to say something for the entire family, but there is something for the entire family here. If you bring the kids out, I mean, that 84 Lumber Kids workshop, and maybe you get some future builders there too.
That's the idea.
Put a hammer in their hand early. Guys, I appreciate you being here. We're going to talk more about this a little bit later on in the week. I appreciate you guys being here. You got a Facebook page people can go to, check it out, or anything like that? Just
BuildersFirstSource.com, BLDR.com is the website for Builders First Source.
Okay.
And the home show does have a website.
Yeah, it's not hard to find. The graphic I used this morning, I just looked it up on Facebook, and all the information is available there. Guys, I appreciate you being here, man. Thanks a lot. We'll talk again later on this week.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
It is 9:19. The Dave Allen Show is brought to you in part by East Coast Tees and the Vinyl Frontier. If you're a political candidate for the best in political science, big and small, get with the Vinyl Frontier and East Coast Tees. Make a statement for your campaign with the Vinyl Frontier and East Coast Tees. Go to eastcoasttees.com and see what they can do for you. The weather getting kind of nasty. Bryan Hughes from StormTracker 13 is up next. We're back right after this from the Parmar Store Studio and the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses are small businesses with big impact, including Generations Physical Therapy and Snap Fitness.
Hi, I'm David McCormick, owner of Omega Commercial Interiors. We'd like to thank you, West Virginia, for making us the #1 office furniture and commercial interiors company in West Virginia. Remember, when you're looking for quality office furniture and space planning for healthcare, corporate offices, or even a private office, call us and buy local. Omega Commercial Interiors. We're a proud West Virginia company. Visit us online at omegacommercialinteriors.com in Morgantown and Charleston.
For years, West Virginia had the most unfair legal system in the nation. Our state was on the judicial hellhole list 13 times in a row. And even though our legislature has made major improvements in legal reform, Attorney General Patrick Morrisey risks all of our progress. Patrick Morrisey has teamed up with greedy personal injury lawyers to sue local job providers. These lawsuits hurt jobs, increase consumer costs, and even threaten broadband expansion. In one recent case, personal injury law firms were paid $151 million. Our state leaders should be protecting our families, not making lawyers rich. Call Attorney General Patrick Morrisey at 304-558-2021. Please encourage him to support local job providers, not sue them. Paid for by West Virginia Citizens Against Lawsuit Abuse. You can find out more about West Virginia Citizens Against Lawsuit Abuse by visiting our website at westvirginiacala.org. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
921 phone calls to the show, a service of Bigley Piggly Wiggly. When shopping at your Bigley Piggly Wiggly, be sure to join their loyalty program. You can save big at the gas pumps and throughout the store with their electronic coupons and free gifts on Fridays just for stopping by from farm to table. Bigley Piggly Wiggly, the best kept secret in Charleston. Texting services provided by Fruth Pharmacy, your hometown family pharmacy. Find the perfect over-the-counter hearing aid at Fruth with NuvaMed hearing aids. Plus, Fruth makes it easier to transfer your prescription services to them. Fruth is your hometown family pharmacy. Bigley Piggly Wiggly hotline again, 304-345-5858. Fruth Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. Meteorologist Bryan Hughes from StormTracker 13 is here. Good morning, buddy. How are you?
Oh, it's been a busy day already, and I probably won't go home till probably 7 or 8 tonight.
I was going to say, you get to the station approximately what time do you arrive there in the morning, Bryan?
Well, see, I work from home when I started. So I this morning I was up at 1:30, and I worked from home. And then I finally drive in about 4 a.m. because it doesn't take a lot of makeup but it takes enough to try and make me look pretty. But no, we've been going since 1:30. Spencer and I've been texting back and forth the last 30 minutes. It's just today is a constant work day.
And that's the point that I'm bringing up, is because the fact when you say, well, I won't get out of there until 7 or 8 o'clock, many people may be thinking, well, okay, you're working a couple hours over. Not so much when you've been on it since 1:30 this morning. And I know you guys have actually been working on this story. I saw a couple of raindrops this morning on my drive in, nothing major. I know some areas had some, particularly south of here. I think last night they had a lot more rain than what we did here in the Kanawha Valley. But this risk of severe weather is a real possibility in our area right here in the valley over the next 24 hours or so, Bryan.
It really is, and we've seen a lot of forecast model data shifting to the I-64 corridor, where we have the possibility of, listen, we could see a tornado across the area today, tornado or two, not just one, but a couple of them, maybe more than that. Now, mind you, our coverage area is broad and wide, Kentucky, Ohio, West Virginia. But in the Kanawha Valley specifically, we're going to have thunderstorms this afternoon. We'll have probably a couple of thunder showers middle of the day, and then we'll get a little break, maybe 2 or 3 hours. And then as we go, anytime after about 3 o'clock, we've got thunderstorms that could be happening off and on. We could get one about 3 to 5, get a little break, another one about 7 to 9, somewhere in there. And the all hazards are on the table. And when we say all hazards, I'm talking about hail of significant size, very gusty winds, flash flooding potential, and also the tornado risk is there. Now, the flash flooding potential is actually a hair bit lower today because these storms are going to be moving at a decent pace this afternoon and into this evening. But, we've got to watch for everything. And I've talked about it on TV. Spencer talked about it last night. But we haven't had a moderate risk for severe weather in our region. Now, mind you, we're at an enhanced risk, scale of 5. We're at a 3 here in the Kanawha Valley. But you get up to the Ohio River, we're on a scale of 1 to 5. We're at a 4. We haven't had that since 2014. So, a lot of parameters are setting up for an active afternoon evening.
Talking to Bryan Hughes from StormTracker 13. I was watching, as I normally do in the morning, Bryan. I heard you put up some sort of a graphic this morning, and you said, and I'm kind of paraphrasing here in that Bryan Hughes comedic kind of way, you said something to the effect of, if this looks new to you, it's because it is, because we've never used it before. So that ought to tell you how significant this event is, right?
Yeah, it really is, because we've had these things in the arsenal, but you never have to pull these severe weather parameters out because we just don't have those type of events here. In some of our broadcast meteorology groups on Facebook, I had one guy yesterday go, this is a significant upgrade for this area. I don't know how to convey this message to people properly and without confusing them and everything else. I was like, welcome to the Great Plains, buddy.
Because you've got experience in this sort of thing.
Yeah, I've spent over half of my career in the Great Plains doing this. You do this weekly with this sort of event. But obviously here, Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, this is not normal. Mm-hmm. But listen, this is my forte. This is where I get to have fun and spend the long hours. So the big breaks, the big lunch breaks and the feet up, riding the boat, all that gets paid for by doing these days.
Bryan, if you look at the map of the United States, it appears, and I know all these, and I'm not a meteorologist, obviously you are, but it appears that the entire country is under some sort of a severe weather threat right now for flood or tornadoes or whatever. Are all these like connected? Is this all one big system? Is it a bunch of smaller systems? How does the whole thing work?
It is all one large grand system, and this is what we've been looking at. We knew there would be a big hoorah at some point coming for the end of March, 1st of April. We were looking at that about a month ago. We knew there'd be one big kahuna left, and this is it. And it's just a large storm system it's worked its way from the West Coast, and now it's going to make its way up there into the Great Lakes region as today it is. And so today we get the severe weather aspect of it. Tomorrow we'll have wind and gusty little thunder showers, and some of those could produce some small hail. And then going into Wednesday night into Thursday, you're going to have snow in the mountains. And then even down here in the Kanawha Valley, we have the potential Thursday morning to mix some snow, some grapple, which is some of the balled up snow, essentially, snow pellets. So we have the potential to see some of that on Thursday morning here. Thursday in the afternoon, little rain showers, back to some snow trying to mix in briefly on Friday morning. And then finally by the weekend, we're going to dry up. The storm system's going to be out of here, but we have cold mornings, but a ton of sunshine for the weekend. And then we'll warm up next week.
I mean, it's really interesting because you guys started talking about this weather system, I think, probably sometime over the weekend because you could see that it was coming. But I heard you say, you or Spencer One said last night that you had actually had this sort of on your radar, no pun intended, for about 2 weeks now that you saw that this could possibly happen. Weather forecasting, it's tricky business. You see things 10, 15 days, and I know Spencer's the king of this, saying, okay, that's way too far out. But you guys saw something like this like 2 weeks ago, pretty much.
We did, and we had telegraphed, by saying, hey, next week though we're going to have a big system, and that'll cool things down. There'll going to be some changes, and that's something that we can look at general trends, and we can look at storm systems. We have really global systems that we can say, that looks like it's got some characteristics to be able to do this and this. And actually last Thursday, we started talking about the severe weather threat for today. Matter of fact, I remember putting it actually on the 7-day forecast and severe storms on Tuesday. So, it's something we've been watching. We're ready, and it's going to be an active afternoon, evening. And matter of fact, Spencer goes, I barely slept. And I said, well, I got 6 hours, so I'm good to go.
Good to go. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live brought to you part by General Hardware of Winfield and Milton and General Lumber of Winfield. If you're planning a project this spring, please shop locally. They're also hiring. Stop by any location for details. Visit generalhardwarewv.com. Brian, before we let you go, everybody always wants to know. They always say, and it's a kind of a running joke between myself and you and Spencer. And God bless people, but people are people. This is what they do. On social media, I mean, I was looking at Spencer's comments last night. It was everybody, well, what about this? What about Culloden? What about Milton? And everybody wants to know their specific areas. I completely understand that. But it can, I guess, get kind of tiring because, as you said, you guys are a media outlet that covers a wide range. And what's going to happen in Parkersburg, where you have viewers, is not necessarily what's going to happen in Mingo County. And so that's what you got to know about these kind of systems. But let's just kind of focus it right now. The bulk of our listeners are, let's say, Kanawha County to Putnam County to Summit Cabell, and maybe a little bit of Clay. Okay, or we'll say that right now. What does the people that are listening to me at work right now, the Kanawha Valley, what does their timeline look like?
Listen, we're talking about anywhere from 3 p.m. to about 8 p.m. And it's a long time, but we have a couple of rounds of thunderstorms that we'll have to watch for. And the one thing that it's the caveat, it should be understood, but people don't understand it. They get upset when we say, hey, there's going to be hail, rain, wind, and tornadoes possible. And if you don't get all three of those, sometimes you find people who are upset. But tornadoes are incredibly isolated. Hail is relatively isolated unless you're under the core, and generally everybody will get rain. Everybody's going to get rain today. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, the hazard potential is there. Not everybody's going to see all of these things, but we are prepped and ready to go at a moment's notice on the air when we see the characteristics show up. And today is a day also that I'll say this. If the National Weather Service hasn't warned on it, although they are on a heightened level today, they have extra staff in. We've got extra staff in. If they haven't warned on it, but our triggers and alarms go off, we'll go on the air because we trust Viper. It is the premier radar system in the country and actually in the world. And some of our algorithms are the most sought after, but yet, thank goodness they're patented.
All right, Brian, I know you guys hope you pack some sandwiches. I hope you're good to go.
You know what? As I said, I carried a prescription bottle of Adderall, and they all laughed at me when I walked in this morning. So we're good.
That's just another day for Bryan Hughes.
Exactly.
All right, man, I appreciate you. How's the recovery going? You had some health issues. You had some surgical stuff. You doing okay, buddy?
You know what? Thankfully, the old abdomen has repaired itself after an explosive, appendix. It'll never happen again, so that's the good part.
Yeah, that's good.
And the foot's doing good, and just doing a lot of rehab, but I'm having to cancel rehab today. So.
All right, man. Get back on it. We'll be watching. I appreciate you being here, buddy. Thanks a lot.
Sounds good.
Bryan Hughes again from StormTracker 13. I like Bryan. I mean, I really do. Bryan and I have been friends for a number of years, and he's kind of got that animated style. But serious biz, though, this is going to be a red what they call a red alert day, red weather day, whatever you want to call it out there. And again, like Bryan said, not everybody's going to get tornadoes. Not everybody's even going to get hail, but everybody is going to get rain. Everybody's going to have some severe weather. Good idea, probably, if you got stuff out in your yard, if you got your plants hanging out, you got flags in the yard, you may want to go ahead and if you're going to be away at work or whatever, you may want to go ahead and put those up because definitely we are going to see some significant weather. And, it was kind of interesting. Like I said, I get up in the morning and I have my coffee and I'm like a lot of you flipping through the channels and I see Bryan this morning says, we're showing maps we've never shown before. And I thought, okay, well, this is some serious stuff going on here. So just be safe out there, and by the time the weekend rolls around, it's all going to be good. But we are expecting severe weather for all of our listening area today, possibility of tornadoes, hail, wind, lightning, all that other stuff. And then some snow coming in on Thursday, it looks like. Now, are you going to have a snowstorm in St. Albans? No, but there could be a little snow on the ground. Mountains are going to get some snow. And then by the weekend, we should be, relatively back to normal, whatever normal is. So Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you part by Pinnacle Consultancy, only accredited commercial lab in the state for asbestos and mold. Asbestos was banned in some building products, but not banned for all products in the U.S. Don't expose your family or workers to asbestos, mold, or lead paint. Get with Pinnacle Consultants. They offer real estate environmental assessments for hazardous materials and air quality. Visit pinnaclecorp.net because what you don't know can hurt you. Biggly Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. Text says, lately I feel like these weather reports are sensationalized by the media. The cynic in me says it's for viewership and the clicks, like it's a 2% chance for a tornado, 98% chance, says texter, one doesn't happen. But it's tornado sensationalizing on the news. We're forecasted to get 1 inch of rain between now and Friday, but it's flooding, sensationalizing to the news. It's kind of like wolf crying. Well, I hope the texture's right. I really do. And if you'll recall, I don't remember exactly what I wasn't working here at the time. Maybe 2018, 2019. We're kind of sheltered from things like tornadoes, no pun intended, here in the valley. But remember when a tornado actually touched down in Charleston? I think it was like 2019. And there have been, historically speaking, significant tornado touchdowns in West Virginia where numerous people have been killed. Now, hopefully, that won't be the case here. Nobody wants to see that sort of thing. Nobody wants it just for the clicks or whatever. But I do appreciate the texter texting that information to us this morning. Special Olympics embodies the true spirit of sportsmanship. It's not merely about winning medals. It's about being part of a team, practicing and competing together. The joy and fulfillment derived from these experiences are immeasurable as athletes find their confidence and self-worth through the shared pursuit of victory. West Virginia, enriched in collaboration with Huntington, invites you to witness the transformative power of Special Olympics. See a video highlighting the Special Olympics at facebook.com/580WCHS. We're going to take a break. When we come back, this is the time of year, the political season, where the endorsements start rolling out. Our good friends at the West Virginia Chamber of Commerce had some yesterday. Bryan Dayton from the Chamber is going to join us to break those down when we come back. But your calls and texts are welcome too. Bigley Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. Back after this from the Par-Mar Store studio on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses bring first-class businesses to your community.
We need real conservatives in the House of Delegates. We need Mark Carter in District 57.
Hi, I am Mark Carter. As a conservative lawyer, I am a strong supporter of life, faith, and the Second Amendment.
Mark Carter was appointed to national offices by both President Donald Trump and President George W. Bush. Let's elect a new conservative Republican to the House.
I am Mark Carter, and I would appreciate your vote for House of Delegates.
Paid for by Mark Carter for West Virginia.
Buckle up. Adventure will never be the same on the Thornhill Motor Mile. Ready, set, go. Hey, it's Sydney inviting you to the new Thornhill Toyota for our amazing deals during the Toyota National Sales Event. Just imagine you in a new 2024 Toyota Camry, Corolla, or all-new Crown. Or step up with a Toyota SUV like a new 2024 RAV4 or Highlander Gas, where you can enjoy 3.99% financing for 60 months. So many possibilities. Ready, set, go to the new Thornhill Toyota on the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119 in Chapmanville. Click or come by ThornhillToyotaWV.com and let's go places. Must qualify for all offers through Toyota Financial expires April 1st, 2024. Shop Thornhill to get yours.
Thrive with 5 at the best community bank in the Kanawha Valley, Poca Valley Bank. Poca Valley Bank is now offering a certificate of deposit special, 10-month APY, annual percentage yield 5%. Take advantage of this great rate to grow your savings. For more information, stop by a Poca Valley Bank location today or call 844-782-2651. Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Certain terms and conditions apply. Rates based on minimum annual percentage yield. Subject to change without notice. Minimum deposit required of $10,000 of new money not currently on deposit with Poca Valley Bank to receive APY. Member FDIC.
Hey, aren't you that chef that's running for magistrate?
I am the chef that's running for magistrate. I'm incumbent magistrate Gary Sheff, SHEFF. I'm the only chef on the ballot. I'd appreciate your vote and the opportunity to continue to serve Kanawha County as Division 9 magistrate.
This message is paid for by the Committee to Keep Magistrate Gary Sheff, Greg Silverman, Treasurer.
Thank you for your support. I'm Gary Sheff and I approve this message.
22 minutes away from 10. The Dave Allen Show and 580 Live brought to you by Fresh Air. They'll change those heating and cooling units and air filters, not the actual units themselves, just the air filters for the home. Your retail or industrial business, restaurant, church, or whatever, they can also custom build filters for you. They offer 24-hour emergency service. Visit freshairfilters.us or call 304-440-1104 for Fresh Air, because everyone deserves fresh air. Coming up on tomorrow's show, a big gubernatorial forum is coming featuring the 4 leading candidates for West Virginia Governor: Patrick Morrisey, Mac Warner, Chris Miller, More Capito. WOWK-TV political reporter Mark Curtis is going to join us to talk about that tomorrow morning. Plus, State Democratic Party Chair and Delegate Mike Pushkin will be on the show tomorrow as well. The Democrats had a press conference yesterday. Mr. Pushkin was there, and Hornbuckle and Young, some of the others, and they are weighing in on some things that they would like to see for a special session. So we're going to talk to Pushkin about that on the show tomorrow. Plus, another candidate for Kanawha County Magistrate, Leslie Grace, will be on the show tomorrow as well. Ryan Nicholson is our producer today. Bigley Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008 from the West Virginia Chamber of Commerce. Brian Dayton is here. Brian, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Dave. It's great to be back on.
Thanks for being here. Now, yesterday, the State Chamber released the first round of endorsements from your political action committee. These endorsements were mainly for legislators, but we also had some state races in there as well. I want to start with the House races, U.S. House races. The Chamber PAC going with the incumbent Carol Miller from District 1 and current State Treasurer Riley Moore for District 2. Tell me why.
So we have, first of all, let me just tell you the process that we use. That'll help explain everything. We have members located across all 55 counties in West Virginia who employ over half of our state's workforce. So we listen to our members when it comes to these endorsements and get their feedback. So this is actually a very lengthy process. We use scorecards that are developed based on votes taken by incumbents in the legislature, also votes taken by members of Congress on issues the business community cares about. We also use extensive extensive candidate interviews. For the 2 races for the United States Congress, we have a very good and very long-standing relationship, both with Congresswoman Carol Miller and State Treasurer Riley Moore. So it goes back a long time. They are both very interested in the business community's perspective on the employer community, what's needed to build a better economy, what's needed to create more jobs. Both of them, Treasurer Riley Moore, his staff as the Treasurer's office has been very responsive. Carol Miller's staff in Congress has been extremely helpful, extremely accessible anytime our members have needed anything. So those are things that really matter when it comes to this endorsement. And so that is why our Chamber PAC went with both of them for the U.S. Congress.
We'll move on to Attorney General. You chose current State Auditor J.B. McCuskey over State Senator and former federal prosecutor Mike Stewart. Why that choice?
So it really also comes back to hearing from our members, listening to them very intently on their preferences. We also have a very long-standing relationship with Auditor McCuskey. His 8 years in the auditor's office, he's been very good to work with on a number of issues. Preceding that, he served a few terms in the House of Delegates and was a leading champion for the chamber back at that time. JB's first term, if I remember correctly, was when the Democrats, their last term in the majority party. And he was somebody that was never afraid to stand up and really push back on some of the ideas they had. And then really that first 2 years of the Republican majority, he was a leading member of the House, helping to push through some really important reforms. So it goes back to we've had a very strong relationship with J.B. McCuskey and listening to our members, and that was where the overwhelming support went to.
Now, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Again, we're talking with Brian Dayton for the West Virginia Chamber of Commerce about some of their endorsements. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but what I'm kind of hearing here is that once you have developed a relationship, and your organization and your PAC has developed a relationship with someone, not to say that you wouldn't choose somebody different, but it's kind of like you have something to build on, I guess, unless they prove to you otherwise. So you have a tendency, I think, sometimes, and again, there's going to be some changes. We're going to get into all these a little bit later on. Some not necessarily following that script, but by and large, it seems that your organization does choose a lot of people that you have a relationship with and that you already know what their strengths are.
Sure. Well, if someone is serving in office and they have been supportive of the employer community and they've been active in that realm to try to help move West Virginia forward in the same ways that we are trying to move it forward, then that is someone that we're going to be naturally inclined to support. If you turn around and support their opponent, I think they're going to look at you and say, well, why?
Yeah.
If I'm out there
what
helping
did I do wrong? Yeah.
Yeah. Now there are times where we've had people that we've supported in the past, and that they've changed their direction and changed their views, and it's sometimes to an area where we can't go, and that may lead to choosing somebody else in a different endorsement. But by and large, if you have an incumbent who's in office, they've been doing a good job, they've been doing the right things, they've been taking a lot of times the hard votes, sometimes the ones that on the surface may not seem popular, but it's the right vote for the policy reason, then we're going to stick behind those people.
And I think it's very important to note, too, that the very name Chamber of Commerce, this is a business organization. So you're not going to be as concerned, again, not putting words in your mouth, Brian, but I don't think you're going to be as concerned about a lot of the social issues and things of that nature. You're primarily, the job of a Chamber of Commerce is to take care of businesses, business owners, to attract business. So that's primarily what a lot of these things are based on.
Yeah, absolutely. Our goal is to have an economy in West Virginia where we can bring more people to the state, create more jobs, create more opportunity for our citizens, better incomes. That is ultimately what we want to have in West Virginia. We believe that actually addresses a lot of the societal problems that we face. If you have more jobs, more opportunity, that will take care of a lot of those other problems. So that is our focus.
The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Bridge Valley. If you're interested in improving your company's IT workforce, you may want to know Bridge Valley offers custom-tailored IT training to bridge the skills gap. At Bridge Valley, you can train for little or no cost with a 50-50 salary match. They can also supply skilled graduates and apprenticeships for your company. Visit bridgevalley.edu/apprenticeships today for more information. For Treasurer, current Revenue Secretary and former Justice Chief of Staff and former Delegate Larry Pack.
Yes, and somebody else, Larry Pack served a term in the House of Delegates and was a great friend to the employer community during that time. He's been doing a good job in the governor's office as Revenue Secretary. He is unopposed in that race, but even if he was opposed, I think he would still have gotten this nod as well. He's done a nice job.
I mean, you chose to endorse him even though he's unopposed. You didn't have to endorse him.
Correct, absolutely.
For Supreme Court of Appeals, Justice Haley Bunn and Senate Judiciary Chair Charlie Trump.
Sure. And now both of them are unopposed,
right.
And we couldn't be happier.
Before, though.
We couldn't be happier about that. Justice Haley Bunn has done a magnificent job since she's been appointed to the court. Really, looks at what does the law say, what was the legislature passing, and applies it that way. That's what we're looking for, is really fairness in the judiciary. We have a very long-standing relationship with Charles Trump. For the past 10 years, he's been the Senate Judiciary Chairman. Prior to that, going back into the 90s and the early 2000s, he was the Republican leader in the House of Delegates. So that is probably one of the longest relationships that the chamber has, is with Senate Judiciary Chairman Charles Trump, soon to be Justice Charles Trump, given his that he's unopposed. But just two fantastic individuals running for the Supreme Court.
Now, again, Brian, in the interest of time, I won't go over the entire list, but I will let you go over some of the list of the legislators for the state Senate and House of Delegates that pertain to our listening area. So do you want to go over some of those?
Sure. When we look here at the listening area, Senator Amy Grady is running for re-election for the first time in Putnam County. She's from Mason County, but she covers a district that includes Putnam, Mason, Jackson, and so forth. And she's been really great to work with. She now chairs the Senate Education Committee and has been bringing forth some very positive ideas on how to improve education in West Virginia. Senator Glenn Jeffries, he really has become almost the go-to person on economic development matters in West Virginia. It's funny. Anytime I give Glenn Jeffries a call, he almost always has somebody in the car with him, taking him down to look at a different site in West Virginia that they could potentially bring a business here. So he's done a fantastic job. He now chairs the Economic Development Committee in the Senate. He, too, is unopposed. Amy Grady has an opponent in the general. Senator Jeffries, I believe, still was unopposed all the way through. But again, just a real, an easy choice there. Senator Eric Nelson has been just someone who's been rock solid for the chamber. Longtime chairman of the House Finance Committee, elected to the Senate 4 years ago, running for re-election. Has just been really somebody that, again, puts forward what's going to help bring more jobs, more opportunity to West Virginia.
All right. When can we expect more endorsements to come out?
So
because this is not the entire list,
sure.
Obviously. So
sure.
And you're going to break down some more of these delegates, and I know you got governor and everything. When will those come out?
So we're continuing to listen to our members. We're continuing to interview candidates and get out to know them. I mean, the first thing is you may hear somebody saying, "Oh, this person's great. You got to endorse them," and they have a lot of support, and we very well may. But we want to make sure that we have an opportunity to have a very thorough conversation with them to see that our views and their views are going to line up appropriately for an endorsement. So that process is continuing on a day-by-day basis. We're also continuing to elicit feedback from our members. Given that we are such a large organization, it can sometimes take a little bit of time to come to consensus on some of these races. And that's something that when we do these endorsements, we want to make sure that the membership as a whole is very comfortable in the direction we're going. So we're listening to those. We're hoping to get these out sooner than later. Early voting begins on May 1st, and the primary is on May 14th. So we're now within the month window of when votes will be cast.
And, of course, the commercials have already hit the radio. They've already hit your mailbox. We talked about that a little bit yesterday, and they've already hit your television and stuff of that nature, too. You good to take a couple texts?
Sure. Absolutely. Anytime.
All right. He looked a little bit surprised. Well, we got a couple texts here. Okay. Text says, not surprised the Chamber of Commerce would endorse a politician who voted to give her business $3 million and vote to forgive it.
So, well, it's I'm not sure which candidate they were referring to in that text. Again,
that'd be Carol Miller.
It's a Carol Miller case.
Yeah.
The PP. What that would be referring to is the PPP loans. Mm-hmm. And so let's just go back and talk about that for a minute. Those were loans available to the business community as a whole, and thousands upon thousands upon thousands of businesses, not just in West Virginia, but across the country, took advantage of the PPP loans to keep people working and to prevent people from being laid off. It's something that we've just been looking at a lot in the past legislative sessions has been the unemployment fund and those numbers. Keeping people from being laid off during COVID was a good thing. It was very important for the workforce to continue being there, and those PPP loans were able to help bridge that gap. So
I said on the show yesterday, Brian, you and I may differ a little bit on some of those, but you're an expert on business. I'm not, so I'll defer to you on that. But I will say I don't know a single business that did not take some sort of a loan during COVID. Now, My opinions are a little bit different on some of those things.
Sure.
But I will say I do not know a single business, from the two guys, auto body shop, to insurance agencies, to car dealerships, to restaurants, that didn't take it. I don't know a single one.
Same. If you told me to name one right now, I could not do it.
I could not. Someone asked about the Intermediate Court of Appeals endorsements for those.
So that's another one that we're still continuing to listen to our members and to really research. You've got 3 candidates in that race. You have Elgin McCardle from Ohio County. You have Michael Schultz and Ryan Waite, both attorneys here in the Charleston region. All of them have some really good qualities. We know all 3 of them pretty well. So we're continuing to listen to our members and really dive into that race. This is the first time, just for your viewers, this is the first time we've had on the ballot anyone running for the Intermediate Court of Appeals.
And this is not an exhaustive list. This is not you're going to have more endorsements coming out.
Correct.
Yeah, this is
and that is important. This is the first round of endorsements.
Yeah, this is not the whole
We're
list.
continuing to listen to our members and see who else makes further lists.
Knock out a couple of texts before we go here. Does the Chamber PAC support Riley Moore and his past efforts funneling money to former Ukrainian president and Russian operatives later convicted of treason? Or does the Chamber PAC not care about treason? Do you not care about treason, Brian?
Well, look, I think what I would say is it is political ad season, and you're seeing a lot of political ads fly around that are highlighting people's records. What we are focused on is the business community, the employer community in the state. How do we bring more jobs and opportunity? And who's going to represent West Virginia at the national level in the United States Congress the best and really help advance that forward? And that's when looking at this race, Riley Moore was the clear, obvious choice, and that's why our members overwhelmingly supported him.
Final text here before we let you go. How would a candidate get on the Chamber radar if we haven't gotten a survey from them?
So it's very easy. We are very accessible. You can reach out to us via email, our phones, 304-342-1115. We've been reaching out to candidates proactively. We've had others reach out to us. So that's the thing, is really reach out to us. We would love to sit down and talk to you and really conduct that interview and get to know more about you. So if you are a candidate, we've been reaching out to everybody that we can. But if you're someone that we haven't had a chance to reach out to yet, again, 304-342-1115, or my email address is bdayton, BDAYTON at wvchamber.com.
All right, and where can people take a look at this list? Because I know our news department's going to have some information on it later, but this press release went out yesterday. We went over a lot of names here. Where can people find? Is there like a place that they can go online to find it and take a look at this list?
You can find it right on Twitter, right on Facebook. It's also on our website. We're getting it featured a little bit more prominently there, but it is very quick to just access our Twitter page, our Facebook page, and it'll take you right to that entire list.
Will you be doing an endorsement for president?
We have never endorsed it. Well, I don't want to say never. At least in my history that I understand, Steve Roberts could probably give you a more in-depth answer, but I'm not aware of an endorsement for president that the organization has ever done.
Because we had a text here, and somebody asked if you would be supporting Biden since he's the one bringing the jobs to the state. But you're out of the presidential thing, at least currently. That's what you're saying, right?
Correct.
All right. Brian Dayton from the State Chamber of Commerce. Always a pleasure to have you on the show, man. I appreciate you being here. Thanks a lot.
Dave, it's a pleasure.
9:54 of the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. Brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan. If you're injured, hire Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses want to thank you for shopping locally.
Looking to replace your car with a reliable and stylish ride without breaking the bank? Walker Chevrolet and Nitro is stacked with pre-owned inventory, and they have the car, truck, or SUV that you've been waiting for. So what are you waiting for? Not only is the selection plentiful at Walker right now, but you know that Gene and Ryan built their business the old-fashioned way by making friends. There are no gimmicks or games at Walker, just honest, fair deals. And don't forget that Walker is still buying cars too. That's right. All makes and models are welcome at Walker, and they'll give you top dollar for it, even if you plan to buy somewhere else. So get to Walker Chevrolet today and take advantage of all of this inventory. Cars, trucks, and SUVs, they're all here, and they're waiting to go home with you today. At Walker Chevrolet, in the shadow of the Interstate Bridge, just off the Nitro exit of I-64. Walker Chevrolet, making friends one deal at a time.
Hello, I'm Jim Strom for the Home Builders Association of Greater Charleston, inviting you to the 54th West Virginia Home Show, April 5th through the 7th at the Charleston Convention Center. Do you need a new bathroom, kitchen, roof, or just want to spruce up your landscaping? The West Virginia Home Show has it all with hundreds of exhibitors. 84 Lumber Kids Workshop will keep your kids busy for hours. Attend and you have a chance to win a GE fridge, range, or dishwasher. Also win a new kitchen from Builders First Source. WVHomeshow.com to learn more.
Thanks to the leadership of State Senator Eric Nelson, West Virginia's economy is stronger than ever. State Senator Eric Nelson helped control government spending and then passed the largest tax cut in state history. The Coalition for a Stronger West Virginia would like to thank State Senator Eric Nelson for standing up for our families. West Virginians have more jobs and lower taxes, all due to State Senator Eric Nelson, paid for by the Coalition for a Stronger West Virginia, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Live Healthy West Virginia, presented by WVU Medicine. Live Healthy tackles pressing health issues like heart disease, diabetes, and more. It's a podcast offering insights into medical breakthroughs and preventative care, featuring WVU Medicine's expert physicians aimed at fostering healthier lifestyles in and beyond the state. It's a valuable resource for all. Discover the latest episodes on WVMetronews.com. Under the podcast menu, start your journey towards better health today. Biggly Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. Dave Wilson is in for Hoppy this week on Talk Line. That's coming up from the Encova Insurance Studios and Dale Miller Building in Morgantown as the GOAT. Hoppy Kirchville is enjoying the week off. He'll be back next week. Texas Senator Eric Nelson is one of the best West Virginia senators. He's reasonable, pragmatic, approachable, and responsive. I worry, though, says the texter, he's a relic of times past. By today's standards, Senator Nelson is a rhino. Prove me wrong, Republicans. Texas PPP loans. It's like when you say that, Ryan, you don't want to stop at the P's. You know, it's PPPPP. It's like spelling banana. PPP loans are likely the largest fraud in U.S. history. No consequences for it, just business as usual, while citizens suffer from greedflation and businesses take in record profits. Socialism for businesses, bootstraps for individuals. Text says, Dave, I know Chris Miller is just pandering to his MAGA base, but his knowingly false, bigoted post on Easter is unforgivable. There's no place for hate in West Virginia. Don't care what your party or what party you belong to, says a texter. The Dave Allen Show at 580 Live, brought to you by your hometown baseball team, the Charleston Dirty Birds, just a couple of weeks away from opening week for the Dirty Birds. All right, so I had a lot of people ask me my opinion on this whole crispy chicken fiasco in Huntington. Let's recap in case you're not familiar with the story. Crispy Chicken is a chicken franchise owned in part by NFL great Marshall Guy Rand native Randy Moss. Restaurants in Huntington, I will say I've not eaten there as of yet. The online reviews for whatever were a little bit less than stellar. So you can have a good or bad experience anywhere. I completely get that. But I guess at some point, the owner of the restaurant or one of the owners or the manager or something like that went on a podcast in Huntington and basically said that the lack of success or lack of support for this particular business was racial in nature. And it has become a whole internet fiasco that has gone viral nationwide, as a matter of fact. Right? I'm not an expert. I don't know. I have met Randy Moss. I don't know Randy Moss personally. Don't know how much he even knows about the situation. But I will say this, as somebody who spent a lot of time in marketing, the worst thing you can do is to complain to the masses about things real or perceived. And there's a term that people use for what that guy did, and let me just say, I can't say it on radio because Ryan will never let me host again. He blanked the bed on this one, all right? He blanked the bed on this one, and it's going to be hard to recover from that. All right, got to go. Again, Dave Wilson is in for Hoppy, coming up on Talk Line, coming up at 10:06. Take it easy out there and be careful. It's going to be a very, very severe weather day out there. I'll see you tomorrow. Till then, have fun and love somebody.
WCHS AM 96.5 FM Charleston and 104.5 Cross Lanes.
A WVRC media station.
We're proud to live here too.